Pizza time.
Hello, here we go. Episode 39 of A Pizza My Life. Guys, this is the last episode of our first year of doing the podcast. We're calling it the end of season 1. I'm Pizza Eric. Over there is Sean Sauce, and we have a special.
Not even a good introduction for me this time.
Good intro.
Because the guest we have this week
It's true. It's special.
is such a important guest. I can't even begin to explain. This is someone I've known my whole life, and I mean, it is just an honor to have you in the studio this week. My father, Pizza Dad, in the studio.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here, Eric. This is monumental, I guess. 39.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone says do
Obviously.
39 episodes your first season of a podcast.
It's similar. I think it's similar to like how TV shows on their first season they maybe get like 10 episodes and then
Yeah.
they go into like the 23 next year.
Yeah.
This was our 10 episode season. Like we just got like the short little
Yeah.
COVID happened, whatever.
No big deal. 2-month break.
Yeah.
All good.
I'm glad you fit me in on that 39. Obviously,
Top. You were
you know,
definitely our top 40
I'm,
guests.
Yeah.
I did, change your diaper at one point. So, it's
All right.
it's
That's it.
nice
You-
that
we had to go there?
You had to fit. I'm using that. I'm playing the dad card. Dads only get to play one card, and
Yeah.
that's
The sympathy.
I changed your diaper. Moms get to play the I gave birth to you card.
Yeah.
Dads get to play the hey, I changed your diaper. You
should try to flip
That's
that,
the
though.
only card you ever get to play as a dad.
Well, you should try to flip it because like you had a part in the birth as well.
All right. So, I mean, I broke my arm at 8 months old.
Yes, you did.
What an
Yeah.
introduction. Hold on.
Pizza Mom was busy putting in her earrings.
Yeah.
And you were at the age where you were starting to crawl, and obviously you were starting to roll, and you rolled right off the bed and decided to break your arm.
Put that arm out first.
Yeah.
Break your arm. Insert picture there.
There you go.
Calling out. If you're watching the
If
video,
you watch it, it'll be
There's
right
the
there.
video.
here is the picture right here. That'll be easy to edit in. So this Thursday is October 1st. That is the 1-year anniversary from when we launched episode 1 of A Pizza My Life. Dad, looking back to 2019, at the start of 2019, you'd listened to no podcasts.
No,
Yeah.
not really.
And now
I'm
your
like-
two
I'm
sons
like-
have both have podcasts now.
Yes, both of you do.
And so now you have to be a podcast guy.
I have to be a podcast guy. I listen to him on my way to work every morning. And I bounce back and forth listening to these podcasts.
Yeah.
And now we need you to pick your favorite.
Maybe the one that has had you on as a guest.
It's true. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm going with Pizza Eric.
Boom.
And,
Boom. There we
In
go.
your face, Jason.
Jason,
Suck it.
I'm available next week.
Takes bribes. Takes bribes to be his favorite.
Yeah. So over the course, I mean, we've done a lot of episodes. There's a lot of times where I have shared stories from my past. Have you learned new information? Has there stuff that stuck out to you of like, I don't remember that, or I didn't know that was going on?
The one episode when you started talking about some girl pushing you into a tree, or she knocked you down or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, when did this happen? And I even asked Mom, I said, when the hell did that happen? I don't remember that. But geez, it's obviously you've
How'd
got
you not-
that documented. And
This is like one of like the worst injuries I had.
I was gonna say, do you
Growing
remember?
up.
Do you remember him coming home with like a cut in his head?
Yeah.
no, I don't remember anything like that. I don't know.
It was 5th grade. I was like walking, and like this girl just like ran up and like just pushed me, and I fell backwards into the tree, and I had this huge cut in my head. Obviously, I'm crying. I'm 11 years old.
So if you got pushed into a tree right now and cut your head, you wouldn't be crying?
I might tear up, but I'd be
cry.
like, I can handle this. But
Hold it
11
in.
years old, it's like this hurts
Yeah.
a lot, and I'm not liking blood on.
And I'm
on
also
the back of my head.
assuming either you or Pizza Mom took him to the hospital.
So that's the thing. My mom worked at the hospital.
Yeah.
My mom was working that day, and you for some reason had the day off. You weren't at work, and you were waiting for me that day. Usually I would just walk home, and make it home and do my thing and drink a Surge and eat like a whole package of Oreos.
That's the
That
dad
was-
move right there.
All right.
Oreos.
Yeah.
It's a dad thing.
So, but
Get him hopped
for
up
whatever
on
reason,
sugar.
you were there like with the dogs of like, hey, yeah, I'm home today, and I'm like, yeah, I'm bleeding on my head, and
So you were
and
the
then-
first witness of this too.
You weren't a witness because I was like
the
this
aftermath.
This was like
The
a block
injury.
away, and I got home and we were just like, listen, maybe it'll stop bleeding,
Just put some ice on it. Let's see. Let's wait till your mom
Like,
comes. You want to
let's
search?
it off.
It's
Yeah.
just a head
Rub
injury.
some dirt in
Throw a
there.
little dirt on it, because that's what your brother would have probably done. He would have pushed
Yeah.
some dirt onto your head. And said, "Here, you're all right."
Just a head injury, no big deal. You're just
We
bleeding
know that
from your
those mean
skull.
nothing.
You're 11 years old. You're a kid. Just walk it off. So yeah, I literally went to the basement and just played Nintendo 64. And you came down a couple hours later and checked on me, and it was like, yeah, you're still bleeding.
We should probably go to the hospital.
Let's take you to the hospital. And there I am at the hospital, like, hey, mom, happy Valentine's Day. Here I am.
So was Eric maybe like, was he dramatic on injuries before?
Oh, he's always a dramatic
Okay.
injury. You would have thought, it was a gunshot wound.
So that makes more sense. You see him come home with some blood. You see him come home with some blood, and you're like, all right, like whatever. You just got another scratch. I get it. It makes more sense now.
Yeah.
It was more traumatic to you than it was to your dad.
So here's the thing, right? So you go to the hospital and you're like, oh, there's going to be stitches up the wazoo. No, it was like one staple. They just like one stapled into my head. And I was like, I didn't even think that was an option. I thought it was just stitches. They're like, nah, we just use staples.
Not here. Boom. Here's
Yeah.
a swing line.
nice swing line.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom. All right. Sure.
I could have done that.
You could have gone to Office Depot. They would have taken care of you.
So I don't know how you don't remember this. This is like one of two major injuries I had.
On that, just because you mentioned this, do you ever get like a little bit upset when you think you have something like really bad and then you go to the doctor and they're like, oh yeah, that's like, take some aspirin?
See, that's the benefit of having
mom.
Pizza Mom as a nurse, because every time there's anything that I'm like, but this is weird, or
Yeah.
this is unusual, or this doesn't feel good, I just go to Pizza Mom and I'm like, what's the deal? And she's like, take a Motrin.
That's it. She just generally says, take a pill to just about everything.
Yeah.
First thing, if I'm not feeling well, it's, well, what did you take? Have you taken anything for it? And it's like,
Yeah.
no,
I wanted you to diagnose me.
I'm just telling you right now. My head feels like it's going to explode. And she says, well, maybe take a pill.
Yeah.
Go take some Tylenol.
I remember-
Take some Motrin and then take Tylenol again.
Yeah, well, see how you feel tomorrow. I remember she had growing up, she had a line of, whenever me or my brother Jason would come like, someone's hurt, someone's injured. Her first question was, is there blood?
And
That
if
was
no
number
blood,
one.
doesn't care.
If there was no blood, this was not an emergency.
What if it was an internal break?
If your neck was just broken, that's just going to be what it is.
You guys said, someone cut my neck open
Whether
real
she
quick. I need
runs or
blood there.
walks, doesn't matter.
Is he breathing?
Yeah.
Can he speak?
I know.
Or you're choking. She always goes, can you speak? No, I can't speak. I'm
Choking.
That's how you can tell she's in the medical field. Because like I feel like my mom was the opposite, where it's like little brother just starts crying out, "What'd you guys do? Is he okay?
Yeah.
Someone hurt him?
What's going on over
What's
there?
going on?"
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of that, but it's, if there's crying, it's like, that was just the first question. Is there blood? And it's like, no. All right. Well,
You're fine.
let me finish doing whatever I'm doing.
Dude, I can't remember if I told the story on there, but I kind of wish I had that, because actually kind of recently I was playing hockey and I was just skating out, and then all of a sudden my back just started killing me.
Yeah.
And I thought,
Take a Motrin.
oh no, I thought I must have, because I had like 2 energy drinks that day. I'm like, I had too much caffeine and now my kidneys exploding. I played the rest of the game. I'm like, this is horrible. And it kept hurting all night long. I go into the emergency room the next day. I'm like, all right, this has got to be something crazy. I get in there. He's like, yeah, you just pulled a muscle in your back.
All good.
I was like, oh, okay. Well, and it was the first muscle I pulled, and like I didn't do any crazy movement. I just skated, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
like my back
You're just out of shape.
it's horrible. Sign that you're getting old.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Pizza Dad, have
Yeah,
you?
I know about back pain. You don't want back pain.
Have you had any growing up? Did you have any like injuries? What is?
No, I mean,
You just smooth sailing the whole time.
my mom will tell you that I, fell through the picture window, and
Yeah.
the one time I stuck a pencil in my nose, and
So these all stories you're
pulled
saying,
it out
I
and
didn't
pulled
really
it
get
out
hurt,
and
but
left
here's
the-
all these
left
traumatic
the, you know,
injuries that I had.
left the eraser up my nose.
I got shot once.
No,
so
there wasn't. No,
nothing.
there wasn't.
But you had to have that surgically removed, the eraser in your nose?
No, I don't remember exactly how that resolved itself.
It might have caused some residual damage.
Yeah. Oh, it's still up there.
That's a story I don't want
It's
to
erasing. It's erasing his mind right
Go to
now.
another story.
But you mentioned breaking glass. I know you also didn't. You have a younger brother, and you guys broke a glass coffee table. Am I remembering that
We
correct?
would run around the house, and we both jumped on. My mom had this nice coffee table that had like a glass inlay to it.
Yeah.
And we jumped around, and Mom was in the other room. And my brother jumped on one end, and I jumped on the other, and that glass snapped like crazy. And my mom goes, "What the hell was that?" It's like, and I can remember her yelling, "Damn you kids, I can't have nothing nice." Me and my brother were just sprinting to our bedrooms,
Yeah.
Hiding.
And I could hear it again and again. "Damn you kids, I can't have nothing nice." It was like, she was summoning some sort of, gods to come down and strike us or something. It's like she was so angry.
Who is more? Did you? Who's
Who's the troublemaker?
Well,
I thought that's where you're going.
no, that wasn't where I was going. I just assumed both you and your brother were troublemakers.
Oh yeah. It was a kind of a team thing.
Who did you fear the most when it came to punishments? It was your dad, right? It was like if it got to that level where he was punishing you, then that's really bad.
Dad was Dad was too laid back. Mom would be more of the,
That's the one you were afraid of.
Well, I don't know if you'd say afraid of. Mom,
more stern
Mom
punishment.
had more of she was more angry than anything. But
Yeah.
Dad would be, well, those boys will be boys, hey, let's get another coffee table,
Yeah, whatever.
It's like, hey,
Da-da-da.
it's like, I remember riding my bike into the garage,
Yeah.
and I would let my bike go, and I'd like jump off of it just as soon as I got to the garage, and I'd let that bike go, and it would
Just
bang
fly.
into the wall.
You just ghost rode your your
I
bike.
would just ghost ride the bike right into the garage. And it's like, as soon as I
my
let go of the
God.
bike, I noticed that my dad had just brought in the storm windows and replaced them with the screens. And there were all these storm windows right there. And my bike just went, boom, glass everywhere. And I'm like going, oh, shit.
Oh my God.
That's
wild.
I was
That's
waiting
wild.
for my mom to come running out and go, damn you kids, I can't have nothing nice. It's like,
That's wild that you would just ghost ride it into the garage.
Yeah,
Like,
it
I
was
would
like-
never. You would be mad at me if I did that.
well, yeah, because
All of a sudden I'm ghost riding it into your motorcycle or something?
As a father, you learn. You learn.
Wait, so on
not
that
to
note,
do
what is like the most like I can't have nice things moment with Eric or Jason?
Yeah.
Like, did they just like ever like just break something like a new TV? Like you come home with like, I don't know, at the time a nice 40-inch big screen with a giant
Dude.
back
Yeah,
TV.
it's huge. We never had one of those.
I think it was more with Jason because all of a sudden he would like to add stickers to everything. His dresser was like
Full of stickers.
Sticker world.
Yeah.
It's like, what is with all these stickers? Where are these stickers coming from? And he keeps putting stickers.
All of a
on
sudden, you
everything.
try to take him off, and it's like taking
just-
pieces of the wood.
it leaves the paper on it, and like, oh, let's put another sticker over it. To
Yeah,
cover
you're like,
that
I shouldn't have
mess."
even touched it.
Yeah.
I know I had that. We had like my grandma's like, I don't know, wood dresser or something, and it was in my room.
Yeah.
And I think at some point I carved my name into it, got yelled at, and then it went to my younger brother's room, Seth, and he carved his name in it. My mom's like, "What the hell? I just yelled at your brother for this. What are you doing?"
But he's looking at it like, well, if Sean did it.
Sean, it says Sean, and it's mine now, so
Yeah.
I need to put my name in there.
Go to the other brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go carve your name into something.
Carve your name in
Carve
there.
your name
Yeah,
into
'cause
something.
Any day you could just walk in and be like, my name's on it. It's mine.
That's mine.
Yeah. So he had to cross you out and
It's
write his.
tagging. You're just
Exactly.
tagging it.
Exactly. I also think at some point my I think it's Steven, my older brother, decided he was gonna like clean my dad's car, and he didn't realize that the sander doesn't help shine the car out.
Yeah.
So I think he ended up using it and just like sanded part of my dad's car, like sanded part of the paint off.
Oh my God.
I might not be exactly on the story. We'll have to ask Papa Sauce whenever we get him on here, but it was something along those lines where he just like thought he was cleaning and just like carved something out.
Oh my God. Yeah. But I think we were, I mean, as kids, me and my broski, we weren't destructive. We didn't damage like too much.
No. You were so opposite from your brother. Your brother would love to play in mud.
Yeah.
He would go outside and make water and dirt come together, and he would be just covered in mud. Where you, if you got mud on your hands, it was like, it's on my hand. You know, can you get it off? You know, it's like,
yeah.
Did you ever go to Mud Day?
What was Mud Day?
You've grown up around here, right?
Yeah.
Nankin Mills used to have like Mud Day once a year.
Did you just hear the story that was told?
I know,
it's not
true.
for me. I'm not begging mom and dad, hey, take me to Mud Day.
But I was kind of the same. Like I wasn't a big mud kid, but like Mud Day is totally different.
I had to be mentally prepared. If I was going to get dirty, I had to be like going into it of like
that's what I'm saying. You're going into Mud Day, you know.
When you get dirty unexpectedly and your hands just gross, it's like I hate just the way this feels on me.
You got to have the right clothes for it.
Yeah.
I remember the first time you came back from working at the
at Bell Tire.
Bell Tire, and he came back. He was wearing a white shirt, but you could never tell it was white again.
All the oil and stuff.
It was just
all dirt.
It was just dirty, as if he had been,
because working with
the dirt.
Working with tires, they come right off the road, and they're just dirty and nasty.
That road dirt on there.
Yeah. You'd
Not
be
only
surprised.
the shirt, but he was just covered completely.
All the way up the arms.
I had to take a picture of it. I'm like, who is this? Hold on, let me get a camera.
I hated it. I hated it. I didn't.
The look on his face was like, I'm covered. How do I get this off?
Much better working at Blockbuster.
That was so much more my speed. But yeah, working at Bell Tire just sucked. It was I worked so hard to just become the guy that organizes the stock room. That was instinct. That was my goal. Once I realized that was something that one person was designated to do, the less dirty cars I had to touch, the better. When it was raining outside, that sucked because the tires would come in wet, and you would just be gross,
even dirtier.
Yeah.
Now Jason would have loved working at Bell Tire. He would have putting a tire on, grease and dirt. And
Jason was the influence for me to even like kind of go in that direction because he's 6 years older than me, and I would look at him and be like, all right, I'm gonna grow up and be like him. I'm gonna be as tall as him. I'm gonna be built like him. All of like that is my future. Like something's gonna happen in the next teenage years here. From instant messaging pictures of The Rock to like the end of high school, somewhere along the way, I'm going to get very into cars. That was my expectation. I am going to love getting in the garage.
By the way,
never happened.
Back to your first question here. Was that a surprise, or did you know that he was just sending pictures of The Rock claiming that it was him?
That was a surprise.
That was a surprise at first, but
that was a surprise, but you expected that. You were like, whatever.
That was a surprise.
He was so into wrestling. It was like
you were Scotty Too Hotty for Halloween.
Yeah, I was several wrestlers for Halloween. Scotty Too Hotty, one of the best ones.
Well, so any other embarrassing stories about Eric though? I mean, I feel like you kind of gave a little bit here with the dirty, not getting dirty, but not a specific story.
Here's the thing. When Eric was young, he had this thing for McDonald's Filet-O-Fish sandwiches. Yeah, it's lucky this show isn't called A Filet of My Life. Because
when it flows.
He was so into Filet-O-Fish sandwiches. He wanted me to come home all the time, bring me home a Filet-O-Fish sandwich. No tartar sauce. If you come home with tartar sauce, if there's tartar sauce on there, throw it away. Burn it. Burn that damn filet. I throw it out, do anything with it, but if it had tartar sauce on it, he didn't want it. You couldn't scrape it off. It was
tainted.
Dead to him. It was dead to him.
To be fair, there is residual taste of like the condiment.
Yeah, tartar sauce is not just like a piece of cheese you can pull off.
It's not a pickle or something, a tomato. No. It is that is soaked into the bun now.
I will say this right now: the Filet-O-Fishes from McDonald's are my go-to. I fucking love a Filet-O-Fish.
This is confession.
No tartar sauce.
But
no tartar sauce.
But is that also because they don't have a marinara based?
Oh my! McDonald's. If you come
Spain
out with
or Italy,
a chicken Parmesan McChicken,
Italy.
Do you think they have it?
I think they have spaghetti.
Well, that's not the same. I want.
If you want to get spaghetti from there,
No, because I don't want spaghetti. I'm not like that crazy about
Would
spaghetti.
they call it McSpaghetti?
Yeah,
or
probably.
McGetty.
McLasagna, McRavioli.
This is
McLasagna.
This is our McGetty.
Oh my god, I would eat it. I would try it.
I also like that Apple took the McDonald's theme of instead of putting like Mick in front of everything, they just put I.
Yeah, it's the same concept.
It's the same exact concept.
There is a McDonald's. I believe there are 2 McDonald's in the U.S. that are still serving the McPizza. And I literally have them saved in my phone. I want to visit them at some point.
Have you ever had the McPizza?
No.
I feel like it's
Maybe. I don't know.
Yes.
I'd have to ask my dad. Dad, did you ever let me have a McPizza from McDonald's?
No. I mean,
When was it like around?
Some people have goals in their life. I don't know. Well, going to see them get the McPizza is one of those.
But at
goals.
one point, it was at all the McDonald's. So
I don't remember.
Also, talking about goals.
I remember the McRib, but I don't remember the
Yeah, we all
McRib comes
remember
around
pizza.
every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about goals though, Eric's on his bucket list was throwing a boomerang. So I mean,
a boomerang.
some of those goals are a little bit lower. The boomerang has been completed.
The boomerang is right here in the studio with us.
And
This
it's been
is the
thrown.
Should
boomerang
we
I
duck and you
threw.
wanna give it a go? Or
I
what?
threw and caught it. This is way too small of a room to throw a boomerang.
He's a boomerang
know.
expert now.
Yeah, but yeah, I am. Yeah, boomerang. So, but yeah, bell tire was my first job. Dad, what was yours?
Probably like at age 12 or 13, I started doing a paper route for like the Detroit News. That's if we can say the Detroit News.
I don't think it's allowed.
It's
Bleep
okay.
that.
So bleep
Bleep that.
But
We'll edit all that.
that
out.
was really a horrible job. It was one of those jobs where you couldn't leave the job. You had to find another kid to replace you
Yeah.
to take over. It was almost
gotta-
like being in the mob.
I say it was like a pyramid scheme. You had to find someone else.
You can't leave.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
got to find some other kid to take over the job.
You got to find your successor, and you're probably talking to him like, "This is the best job ever. You're making so much money. Your days are open because you're
Yeah.
waking up at 4 in the
Oh, yeah, you
morning."
had to tell the kids this is a
Putting-
great
you gotta
job.
be-
Yeah.
This will teach you
Did you
accounting. This will teach you
Yeah.
sales.
Did you just pawn this job off on your brother?
No.
Is that how you got
I
out of
would
it?
never do that.
Yeah, how did you get out of it?
I think I found another kid.
Another
to take
sucker.
It over. They used to bring the papers right to my driveway, and I'd have to each day deliver those papers all around.
7 days a
And
week.
then, yeah.
6.
So did you have like a
Every day.
backpack full
No,
of
I had a
them?
bicycle, and I had them packed on the sides.
the
and the
basket?
front. Sunday papers were horrible.
Just bigger.
Oh, they were like 5 pounds of paper
Yeah.
or something like
Jeez.
that.
Yeah, I
And
remember those were the bigger
then
papers.
I maybe had like 80, 90 customers or something like that at a time, and you had to come home and stop and get more of them, and then
Were you just ripped from doing
I was gonna
this?
say, I like.
this sounds like a great workout
I
for
feel
the
like you would
summer.
be like a great quarterback or pitcher or something. Like your throwing arm
it's
would
not
be.
like
Yeah.
it's not like the Game Boy game where you're throwing the
No, I'm just-
papers. You had to go
Where
up
you're
to
just
each
hitting a button.
driveway, and everybody was like, "Well, I'd like it if you'd stick the paper between my door and my screen
Oh.
door every." Because heaven
Dude, it's
forbid-
on
This
your
wasn't a
porch.
ride the bike and just throw the
Oh,
paper
no.
kind of
This
thing.
was before the plastic bags that papers went into. You had to completely put that paper in there.
Yeah, now you see people in their cars just whipping it right
Gym
out
down
the
the
window.
street. There's people now in like just vans.
Yeah.
Like there's like a van just rolls by and like a child's like sitting outside the back of it just throwing the paper.
Yeah. There it is.
And then when you had to go and collect money from people, it was terrible because they were like, "Well, weren't you here last week?" And I go, "Yeah, that was last week. I was here."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they'd pay you in change. Well, here's a quarter.
What happens
Now
if
that's
someone-
25
how much-
cents? Here's another quarter.
How much
That's
were the
50
papers that you had to collect money on? What was it,
Paper-
like $1?
A week was probably $1.25.
Okay.
Like the Sunday paper was 25 cents, and I think
Yeah.
Monday through Saturday was 15 cents.
But what
And
happens if like someone didn't pay?
I mean, I only made money on tips.
You have to take
No,
their
really,
paper.
if-
So is it out of your tip money then?
Oh yeah, I'd be completely.
So they'd
screwed out
like,
of-
so they wouldn't even have like any muscle behind you. If someone doesn't
Oh, yeah,
pay you,
I didn't have a gorilla
Some
guy.
muscle.
Yeah, I didn't have a gorilla guy.
that's
behind
what I'm
me
saying.
going,
If someone,
Yeah.
but think about it, if you don't want to pay the 12-year-old kid, all
Yeah.
right, sucks, buddy. Like, I mean, you could have done this whole job and made negative $50.
Oh, I had
Yeah.
I had
Not even worth it.
I had people that said, "Oh, could you come back later?"
They
I don't
that-
have the $1.25
Yeah.
right now. Could you come back later? Or they'd bring their kid
Oh, my
out to
God.
hand me the money or something. Or I remember one time going to collect, and I could hear this guy yelling at his wife inside the house, and I'm going, well, maybe this might not be a good time to collect this $1.25.
He's gonna be angry.
I thought, what the heck? Maybe she's got a chance to, grab a knife from the kitchen to I'm going to knock on the door anyways. I need my money.
Yeah.
You would have been a witness to murder.
And he goes, the typical, what do you want? It's like I come here every week.
Yeah.
It's
You
like
know what I want.
It's like I'm a new guy.
Yeah.
I'm here to collect for the news.
Yeah.
How much? It's always,
Same as last week, buddy.
$1.25.
$1.
$1.25. And this guy pulls out this roll of money, and he's fishing through all of his 20s, and then he hands me a
he's a drug
$5.
dealer.
And I'm like going, okay, here I got to do the old. All right, let me get the change.
Let me act like I'm giving you change and wait for you to tell me. Yeah.
I'm waiting for him to say, yeah, you can
keep it.
Keep that.
Yeah. You're like taking your time. You're like, oh, hold on. My chain thing is broken. It's jammed. Hold on.
Finally dig out the money and give it to him. Like,
yeah.
Okay, bye.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Here's your $3.75.
Yeah, $3.75.
What is like the?
Oh
did you see anything crazy while doing that? Like, I feel like you probably have walked in on seeing something just odd happening.
Well, you get
approach a random house.
You get people who come to the door going, well, could you maybe wear a little closed up robe there, lady? I mean, and she's like 80. It's like,
oh,
Jesus, come on, like.
So is that's like, because I was a delivery driver and I didn't necessarily see anything, but I had this one dude that I delivered to, and the first time I delivered to him, he's like, oh, come inside while I write this down, which that happens sometimes, so it wasn't like that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And then he apparently was a like a salesman for like just I don't know, random shit or whatever, and so he's like, hey, for a tip, like, do you want this coffee press and like a ice cream scoop? And I'm like, sure, why not? He's like, all right, here, and he gives that to me. I'm like, all right, thanks. Next time I deliver to him, same
ice cream scoop.
Yes. Next time I deliver to him, I come in, same thing. He's like, oh, do you want like a whisk or something? I'm like, sure. And then he's like, and like he's talking to me this whole time.
He's just giving you stuff out of his kitchen.
Yes. And then he, the second time was the weirdest one. So it's as I'm leaving, he comes up and he gives me a hug and he smells me.
Oh my
and
God.
he's like, you smell like, he's like, you smell like pizza. I'm like, yeah, been working at the shop all day.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I had a girlfriend who worked at Dunkin' Donuts once. Smelled like donuts every day. Loved it. Used to eat her every night. And then just closed the door. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Oh. I got back and I'm like, I'm never delivering to that guy again.
Yeah, you're like, cut that guy out. Put him on the list.
But that was like the weirdest experience I haven't seen anything. I think I had like someone. There was one time that someone left their door open. And, like, I knocked. It was a late at night call, and I knocked. I'm like, hey, is anyone there? No one answered. I called them. No one answered. The door's wide open, and I ended up calling the cops because I'm like, hey, I don't know if this person's dead inside, but their door's open. They're not answering. I'm like, I don't know if you guys want to check this out or not, but
yeah,
there could be a dead body.
Yeah. Wellness check.
Something.
It was amazing delivering papers where, I don't know if you guys remember the TV guide.
Yeah.
There was this little square little TV guide that came with the Sunday comics. Yeah. People would lose their mind if they didn't get the TV guide.
That's how they know
because
what's
otherwise
going
you didn't
on.
know what was going to be on.
I didn't get a TV guide. Like,
oh my God.
Like,
so ask a friend.
You have to know what's happening. What's happening on what night?
Hey, can you tell me what's on CBS at 8?
Yes. When is Ed Sullivan coming on?
Is it Dallas? Is it a new episode of Dallas?
It's just a rerun.
No, it's a rerun this week. Who shot JR? I need to see who found that out.
I feel like that's a soap.
No, that was
JR?
Dallas. I think that was.
I have no idea.
That was the famous Dallas episode, I believe. Fact check me. And that's a message to myself because I'll put it up here if I'm wrong. Who shot JR? The famous Dallas episode, the cliffhanger. Anyways, let's get back on track, guys. When you're delivering papers, one of the key things you need is comfortable shoes.
Oh, nice segue.
See, it's not just me who calls it out.
That is a great segue because I wanted to talk to you guys about pretty much one of your early episodes where you guys seem to have mocked New Balance shoes. especially wide shoes.
I think
If I recall right, you guys said, "Oh, those New Balance shoes are for old men." And I'm like,
I said I got them. I got them for my brother.
Yeah.
Made sure I got the extra wide ones because it was
becoming a father.
his first child. And I said I got to get you some dad shoes.
They're
He
dad
did,
shoes.
but I think I did mention though he did say that they were the most comfortable shoes that he's had.
"Yeah, they are."
Yeah.
So
They are.
there is that.
But this was news to you that these are dad shoes.
Yeah, they're
that
dad-
these
I didn't-
white
I was
New
like,
Balance shoes.
I was like, I never knew that. And then I'm like, and I start Googling it. I'm going, New Balance shoes. And it's just like, oh, it's mostly preferred by older gentlemen with
Yeah.
big, wide, fat feet. I'm like, I guess
That's
is.
what it said when you Googled it?
No, it was vague. I don't know. I was.
These are for fat gentlemen.
Yeah, these shoes are for.
Do you have the
guys
wide
who-
feet?
Guys who have been running with flippers or
on
something.
on that thought though, and I can't remember if we actually talked about this, but is there something that like when men get older, do your feet just get wider because, or are we just constantly
it's-
wearing narrow shoes?
Yeah, I think we're wearing narrow shoes, and as you get older, your feet, from holding you up
Just
your whole life, slowly flatten and get wider.
because I've seen it doesn't matter on the person's weight,
You're
height,
never
anything.
looking-
When you get to a certain age, you have the
Yeah.
wide shoes.
I don't think you're ever looking at like a toddler's shoes and being like, yeah, he needs a wide.
Maybe.
But you check it out. If you try on a pair of wide shoes, it's like, oh, these kind of fit kind of nice. My feet.
I agree
because
with
when
you.
tried
Because
other
you have that
shoes on,
extra space.
It's like now they're really, really tight on the sides of my feet. I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe my feet have gotten wider over the years, but
I've worn my dad's and they still are like, the length is fine, but like I can just rattle my foot around.
Yeah. You'll get there.
That's what I'm saying. At what point is it just like,
yeah, times with you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I already, like I said, the
Yeah.
back's already going.
Yeah. The shoes you're wearing today, Dad, are quite nice.
Are they on the-
Those are New Balance shoes.
Those are
camera.
not dad New Balance
Now,
shoes.
these
though.
are
Yeah.
these are definitely new.
Yeah.
This is the first time out for these shoes.
brand debut.
They're
Brand new
it's a
shoes.
debut.
I love the
I-
colors match the theme of the podcast.
I have worn them around the house once.
Just to break them in.
Break
right?
them in.
Yep.
I want
That's a dad thing to do.
I want to confess here on the show that I do have a problem where
It's the first step.
Is this an intervention all of a sudden?
yes, I'm constantly buying shoes. I'm a shoe addict.
Yeah.
So when did this start?
Yeah.
Maybe a few years ago, and I just started looking at shoes, going, "Hey, I like those," and then I'd buy them, and then I really didn't wear them.
Yeah.
It's just like I like to keep them. I like to have them. It's like,
Yeah.
and then I'd keep wearing the same other pair of shoes. I mean, before, sometimes even maybe years ago, I'd buy two pair of the same shoes. That way, I'd constantly kind of switch
Have that,
back and
yeah.
forth, and I figured I'd get even more usage out of these shoes. They wouldn't wear out as fast because now I've got two shoes that fit well. I like them, and I don't know. I just can't.
And then now you're just going every colorway that comes out.
Well,
So how many shoes? Because I think you were telling us earlier. How many shoes do you actually have now?
I'm athletic shoes.
Yeah.
We were talking.
That's the
running
thing.
shoes.
So you're not
I'm
even
right around 36 pair now.
That's-
I'm at 36 pair, and I've probably worn maybe 7 or 8 pair outside of the house.
Okay, so the rest of them
the other 25 have just been kind of
basically
closet
mint.
shoes.
So are
Well,
you?
they're minting. I might.
The thing is,
I need a curio cabinet. Really, is what I need.
you're not getting
know?
like special edition, limited edition release
I'm
shoes. You're just getting like normal, like athletic running shoes.
go
like,
to Foot Locker. and
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
there.
I'm in the $50 to $100 price range of shoes. I'm not, super expensive stuff. I'm not buying Air Jordan $300 shoes.
This is my favorite, like, just because in some sense, so in the social media world, someone who is, has a bunch of shoes, buys them, especially like doesn't wear them, is referred to as like a sneakerhead. I don't know if you've heard this.
I've never heard that.
So you
You're
are a
becoming a
sneakerhead. You are a sneakerhead in a sense, but the best part is that like those guys are spending $500 on a limited edition
Yeah.
pair of Jordans, and you're like, I'm a sneakerhead, but with practical shoes.
yeah, I want shoes.
And
I'm
it's
gonna
the
wear.
greatest thing. So, are you planning on wearing?
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah, just
But
for
then
the
there's
right
sometimes
occasion.
But you're still shopping for more.
Yeah.
When it strikes.
I mean, I saw a pair of shoes recently, and I liked them, and I'm shopping online, and I bought them, and I got they came in the mail, and I tried them on. I walked them around the house, And then, I went upstairs, go throw them in the closet and stuff. And there I look right at me is the same pair of shoes that I just bought is in the closet. And I go, oh my God, I just bought the same pair of shoes.
You're
I'm
just
like
looking
going,
at them.
oh, I hope Mom doesn't find no pizza. Mom. I'm like, ooh, okay, so I've got a pair of shoes upstairs in this closet. I'm going to put these in the closet down in the basement or something like that.
She'll never know.
She'll never know. She won't listen to this podcast.
No.
Okay,
She has way too short of a drive to work.
She won't listen to this part.
Yeah,
So
she
here
won't
I
make
had,
it.
so what I had to do to not have this happen again, I started taking pictures of all my shoes so that I could, if I was at a store or something like that, I could go, let me see if I have that one. I've got it in blue. I've got it in white. No, I don't have it in red. At least I would, know if.
That's funny.
I
We'll
also-
put the picture,
so-
the scroll of pictures that the screenshot of your camera roll.
It is impressive. I also don't think I asked this. You don't have an Instagram, right? Or do you?
You do.
Yeah.
You do? Because I literally think that you could have a pretty good following posting like, we have to come up with like a name for you or something, but you could have a
Sneaker
dad.
dad.
Oh,
Sneaker dad.
Sneaker dad.
And you could just
Sneaker
have
daddle.
yes, and you could just have because you're like they're good pictures too. Like they are. You had a backdrop for him and everything.
I did
Yeah, you
mine.
have them. It's like it looks like a
They
legit
look professional.
like picture studio that you've set up here for your shoes, your
All I
New
took
Balance shoes.
All I took was a sheet and I threw it over and I took pictures in the garage. I just put a couple clips to a couple of bicycles that were hanging from the garage. I threw that over a chair and I started taking pictures.
I guarantee you could get like
pro.
thousands of followers posting
in a different
the-
world.
Yes, not you can do it now.
Yeah.
Posting like the pictures of your shoes because it is.
Oh
Again,
my God.
there are sneakerhead communities are crazy.
If
I used
my-
to be a low key sneakerhead.
Yeah, you had a collection going. For
I
a
had
while.
I had quite a collection, but I was doing like the $200 to $300 pairs.
How many did you have?
I probably had at some point. I actually have a picture you can post next to Sneaker Dads. It's,
There we go. We'll
when I was
compare
moving-
collections.
What-
Sneaker Sean.
Yeah. When I was moving, I had two
All
just
right.
like large boxes just filled with them. I probably had, I don't know, probably around 35 or so. And it got to a point where I'm like, I am not wearing any of these shoes. So I just started selling a bunch of them online. And because they have great resale value, the ones I had.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when you're getting the collector's limited edition.
Yeah. But it was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, there's a community out there. You could have an Instagram. You could get so many. You probably get like New Balances. Just start sending you free shoes.
This episode of Pizza My Life is brought to you by New Balance shoes.
Yeah.
All right. You don't even need me.
New Balance.
Get outta
Don't
here.
even. All right.
Call me New Balance. Call me.
I'm telling you,
New
we could
Balance,
I think we
get
could get a
in touch with this
sponsorship
guy.
on this because this
Yeah.
it is a very impressive collection.
God,
I
all of a
can't
sudden
wait
we
for
all
everyone
have
to see
New
this.
Balance shoes on. We're all like,
You tell me if you got some free New Balance shoes. You want to wear
I'd
them?
wear them.
Oh,
I
yeah.
actually, so this past year I did something that I've never done before, which is I bought a second pair of the same shoe on purpose because I liked the pair I had so much. So I bought it in a different color because I liked the pair that I had. It was
Okay.
so comfortable and it was just, I loved the shoe so much
That's different.
that I
though.
bought it in another
When you
color.
said a different color before, when you said it was the same shoe, I thought you had the exact same.
Yeah, I would have gotten the same shoe because I love it.
But doing a different color is different. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
different. That's different wears.
You gotta have your
Yeah.
black. You gotta have your brown.
Yeah.
So I mean, mark it on the calendar. That's where this started when I am older and all of a sudden I have a shoe collection.
It's from your dad.
It started here. Dad, you've collected other stuff over the
It's
years.
hereditary. Yeah, I've collected things like lunch boxes.
Yeah.
Things like
Ask him about that.
radios and stuff like
Tell
that.
me about that.
Metal lunchboxes. You have these old school metal lunchboxes. This is all of a sudden I went over to your house one day and all of a sudden you were, here's my lunchboxes.
Wait, so this wasn't when
I
you were
didn't know.
growing up?
No, this was recent. This is another thing that you've like in the past.
Because
few
that's
years-
like an old. Because like metal lunchboxes have not been
They're
around
old.
for
yeah, they're illegal.
while.
Now. They're illegal.
totally illegal. You can't take them to schools.
You
No,
can't take
because
them
coronavirus
Yeah.
sticks to them,
Yep, you could also have
Coronavirus
bombs in
sticks.
there.
and also it hurts when you get hit by one.
That's how Eric got that scar. Yeah, it was that girl hit him with a
Whack!
lunchbox.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I will maintain I did get pushed into a tree.
with a lunchbox.
Anyways, I don't know if
Barbie
I
lunchbox.
Yeah.
maybe. But yeah, you have a collection of metal lunchboxes.
I do.
How did this start?
I don't know.
this does sound like an intervention.
This is taking a turn real
I
bad.
don't know.
I don't know.
I got too deep.
I'm sorry.
You know, it just started off like I remember having a metal lunchbox as a kid, and then I thought, I started, kind of looking online for, like on eBay and stuff like that for ones that are for sale, and then I started looking to see, well, geez, how much do these actually go for, price wise?
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Some can go for a lot of money.
So are you buying them with like the hopes that eventually you can resell them for more?
Hopefully.
Okay.
Maybe I'll just give them all to Eric. And
That's gonna be in
Sell them.
our studio now.
Sell
It'll
'em.
be sell them.
Sell 'em.
I'll have to attach notes to all of them as to how much I think they're worth before I.
See, that's the thing, because Pizza Mom was doing the same thing. She was like, when I have to label my jewelry of how much everything's worth and what's the real deal stuff that's going to be, that you will be able to sell for big money one day. And I was like, all right, well, that'll be one thing I deal with. Now all of a sudden I have metal lunchboxes that I have to deal with.
Metal lunchboxes, shoes.
Also
Radios?
old radios. There's probably maybe 8 old radios that I have. Metal lunchboxes. And bicycles.
And bicycles, that's the other thing.
Wait, how many bicycles do you have?
Maybe 16. I think.
16?
Well, he was a newspaper delivery. He was
into
burning
bicycles,
the bicycles.
So yeah, I was like into
You got
old bicycles.
Are they all like rideable? Like they can actually?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
You got really into customizing them.
Yeah, I started doing a little customization on certain bikes, but
I should ask, what do you do for a living?
I do facilities work.
Okay.
I do shipping and receiving.
Gotcha. I'm saying because it sounds like you could own like a bike shop.
He could.
I've got parts. Yes.
Yeah.
I have
if you were
parts,
customizing
but
bikes
these are
though,
parts for old bikes though. I'm talking.
Yeah.
So you just got to go
They're
to like.
all old timey bikes. There's no mountain bikes.
I say you just have to
There's
go to
no-
like Portland or something though. That's I feel like you go to a hipster town.
Oh my god.
And they would love those old timey bikes. But
You
if
would
you can like
crush it.
customize them a little bit, and they'll probably buy. You can have a bike and shoe shop, and they'll just everything.
Bikes and shoes.
Bikes and shoes.
The big hit of Portland. Pizza Dad's bike shop.
Bike and shoes.
Bike and shoes. Yeah.
Bike and hike.
Bike and hike.
Trademark Pizza My Life.
Trademark Pizza My Life. No, that's our idea. We're
right.
going to use it.
Bike and hike.
We have 25 years to put that into play. That's the way the law works. One of the other things that's big and popular that a lot of people are checking out right now is craft beers. Everyone has their craft beer. This week we are drinking, at Pizza Dad's request, we are drinking the Bud Deep.
Bud Deep?
Instead of Bud Light. I don't know. I try to figure
Bud
out
Heavies.
Bud Heavy. Yeah. Well, I didn't want to copy you.
Of it's brought to you by Budweiser.
There you
6
go.
pack, 12 pack, 24.
New Balance and Budweiser.
Drink it up, bitches. Drink it
drink
up.
it up.
Budweiser, king of beers.
I was like, Dad, I can get you like 100 views on YouTube maybe. And he's like, all right, cool. This is my chance to get sponsored by New Balance and Budweiser.
New Balance and Budweiser.
I'm telling you, you start
I'm
you start
available.
you start an Instagram account for those shoes, you will get at least 1,000 followers
but
a year.
Definitely, I don't want any of that craft beer stuff. None of this.
Yeah.
I do not like craft beer. I want regular beer. I don't want chunks of wheat and barley floating around in my beer.
I don't want chunks of milkshake.
I don't want somebody making their beer from their bathtub or something like that.
Have you had an Oberon?
No, I have not
It's a
had.
delicious beer.
I love an Oberon.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So have you had any of these
I've
craft
never had
beers?
one of these seltzer beers that you guys are drinking.
We
with-
should go grab
with-
they have Bud Light
why?
seltzers.
Why did I not have some ready to go, like
No,
under the table, like
well,
grab
no,
seltzers?
it's got fruit flavors. What's next? Vegetable flavors?
I mean, I think that's a little crazy.
Yeah, but I don't.
All right.
Actually, they do have
could be,
ones.
right,
They do
here,
have ones that are like
here's-
lime and cucumber
yeah,
and stuff like
yeah,
that.
you-
White Claw carrot.
Cucumber and carrot. It's like
Not full blown vegetables, but they got some.
That'd be
in there.
solid.
yeah, that's.
So have you had a craft beer?
I was at a bike show in Royal Oak with a friend of mine, Steve. Call out to Steve.
Steve.
And
Shout out to Steve.
Steve, and we went to have lunch at this bar, and we sit down at the bar, and I ordered a Budweiser, and the guy looked at me like my head had spun off, going, "Oh, we don't sell Budweiser here."
Which is
I'm
kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
And then
though,
he shows
honestly.
me the menu up on the wall.
Yeah, no, that's
and
true.
everything is, all these, funky little names.
But they usually at least have like a Bud, a
description.
PBR, a Miller Lite.
No, I think
No,
you can
they-
maybe hope that they'll stock Bud Light.
That's what I'm saying. They'll at least have something. Like, you don't want
But not
the light beers
necessarily.
either.
I'll
Bud Heavy.
I'll take anything besides some fruity.
But have you tried it though?
I was saying, have you had?
I did. I tasted that stuff there because it's all they had.
And it was
Wait,
just nothing.
But if you
And
had
it
like
was
an
like-
IPA, like you might like that, or even just a craft pilsner.
I think I think a wheat beer. I love a wheat beer.
Wheat
Yeah.
ale and pale ale and
The dark
and
stuff I'm not crazy
dark,
about.
Stouts are solid.
Stouts and lagers and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you like Guinness at all?
No, I'm not really a fan of it.
Okay.
Let me
I've tasted it, but it's
Let me tell this story.
It just seems thick.
Dad,
I don't
be-
know. It's just it's not. It's
A little bit.
It's an acquired taste.
It is. I'll
It
give
is.
you that. I'll give you that. That's a stout. It's a little bit different.
Dad, be honest right now.
Oh boy.
Tell me the truth. Does the Budweiser taste good to you?
Yes, the Budweiser is fine for me.
Do you believe that?
I
really
believe
thought
it, but
about it.
I also think. So it sounds like you don't like a fruit taste at all, which is fine. That's some people do, some people don't. But I can't believe that you haven't had something somewhat similar and been like, oh, that's pretty good. Like I feel like if we did a blind taste test and I gave you a craft pilsner from some of these local Michigan breweries and we just lined them up, I feel like you would tell me that you liked at least one of them.
That would be compared to saying, Eric, I can give you a bottle of Coke and a bottle of Pepsi, and I don't think you'll be able to tell the difference.
See, the thing is,
The
I
thing
think
is,
The Pepsi
Eric
challenge.
will know.
I think you could
What's
tell the
Coca-Cola?
difference. I think you could tell the difference.
Yeah.
Because I do think that Budweiser and like even, or actually,
It has different tastes.
separate note though. Are you just a Budweiser guy, or do you at least like?
Oh,
You
no,
know,
drink Coors Light.
I like Coors. I like
Okay.
Miller Lite.
so
Yeah.
do you think that you could pick Budweiser out of if we gave you a Budweiser, a Labatt, a Coors, a Miller, PBR, and you could just tell me which one's which?
That's several different. Yeah. If it was between like a Bud and a Labatt's or something, I could definitely tell the difference. But you get a Bud and a Coors and
Similar.
a Miller Lite. Sometimes they can all be really close in taste.
Yeah.
So definitely from a Bud to a Labatt's or a Molson or something, I could
Molson
definitely
for sure.
tell you
Yeah.
the difference between those. But
So on
You're really into
the
this.
note of yes, I am.
Really,
So on
really
the note of this
really
a little
hungry.
bit too. Have you? So you heard Eric's White Claw challenge?
Yeah.
yeah, I heard
So-
that. Yeah, that went well for you.
Went real well.
Yeah. it went great.
I can't tell you how proud I am how you did with that.
So do you think?
Yeah.
But like because you're not a seltzer guy at all, like do you think kind of the same? Like of like, these seltzers, like whatever their fruity drinks, they won't get you drunk. Or do you at least respect? You at least respect
Or
them.
did
that
you-
I'll say they'll probably get you drunk.
Yeah,
So you saw the science.
But am I?
the 5% alcohol still is there.
It'll still get you,
Yeah.
I guess.
But are you drinking it because it tastes fruity and it's?
I like the taste of the seltzers.
I think they taste good, and I think
I like- Yeah.
I like beer, but I do think that beer makes you just feel like you're you're stuffed more.
Yeah.
So you drink
Beer,
the seltzers.
Yeah, way more filling.
Yeah, the seltzers are more of like, I'm having a night. I'm drinking
Yeah.
a lot of beer or a lot of seltzers.
Yeah. Dad, here's the thing I want to point out, though, is growing up, you were never the type of person that got home from work and was like, all right, I'm cracking open a cold one.
This is true.
Even on like the weekend, it's not like you would cut the lawn and come inside and be like, all right, where's a beer? You would really only drink in social settings.
Pretty much, yeah.
So
I'm not a.
You're out of the house
I'm
now.
not a big, jumbo
yeah.
beer drinker for every occasion, no matter what it is.
Which
do it for fun.
I'm with you. I'm not crazy about these beers either. These seltzers have come along and have given me something to drink
Well, I've never tried.
that
it,
is
so
acceptable.
I have no knowledge.
That is
of
not
how
beer.
these
I
are-
feel like we need to end this podcast with you trying a seltzer.
Well, I mean, what am I going to do? Run out of here?
we'll-
I know that's the bad part. We actually should have planned that ahead of time.
By this time next year,
We'll do
this
it-
guy's going to be drinking
we'll do it the
seltzers.
second episode.
Second
Yeah.
Father's Day episode.
Round 2.
Next year Father's Day episode
Yeah.
we'll have Pizza Dad and Papa Sauce.
Yeah. We won't even be on the podcast.
Nope, just you guys.
Here you go. Talk for an hour. Go.
We'll give you guys seltzers though.
Yeah. one of the other things that you were complaining about
Complaining?
I know. I'm trying to actually.
Complaining? Where are you going with this?
Well, I'm saying you were complaining you don't like your craft beers. The other thing is
yeah.
that you don't like is that Saturday morning cartoons are not a thing.
What happened to that? Why are they not on TV anymore? Give me back your Daffy Duck, your Looney Tunes stuff like that. Those were fantastic times.
But
you got Bugs Bunny, you got Yosemite Sam. He'd be smacking the guy in the head with his gun or something. It was.
Do we know that there's not Saturday morning cartoons? It's probably not Looney Tunes or anything.
Yeah.
But
what
it's probably like
it's just
like
whatever you turn on Netflix on Saturday morning is what your Saturday morning is now.
But when I was a kid, that was the thing to do on a Saturday morning was wake up, run to the TV, turn it on, and for the next, from maybe
8 to
6 to 10 was nothing but cartoons.
Yeah.
Is that the only time that you could watch cartoons though? Like, is that only time it's available?
It was like
back in the day when there's only 4 channels. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, or 2, 3.
Well, but I'm
channels.
saying like even us growing up though, you had obviously channels.
We still watch cartoons on more in the mornings growing up.
Yeah, but there was even you could watch cartoons in the morning. You could watch it on a Friday night. You could watch it on a Thursday night. Like
well, because we grew up and then it was like now we had
Nickelodeon,
Cartoon
Network. Yeah.
So that was a different time.
Spoiled.
When there is only five channels, then yeah, sure. But you complain about this. Cartoons still exist, and you can watch cartoons whenever
Does your Saturday
you want.
morning not feel
whatever
complete?
Whatever happened to the cartoons? At least I got YouTube. I could at least
I was gonna
jump
say,
on some of those old cartoons on YouTube.
Are they on like Netflix or anything?
Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe HBO is bringing back Looney Tunes.
Are they?
I believe so. I believe I saw that in the news.
Pepperoni Pete, fact check that.
Fact check me right here. I think I'm right on that, and because I think there was the news that a character like Yosemite Sam and Elmer Fudd were not going to have guns.
Oh, that's kind of lame.
Yeah,
that's kind of lame. Honestly, though, because like Yosemite Sam, his whole thing was the guns. Like he's sitting there and he's shooting them. Daffy Duck,
he was shooting for rabbit. Shooting for He's,
and Daffy Duck's whole thing was getting hit with the gun to the face, and his beak just flips around,
spun around a few times.
Like that's not the same. That's not the same if they don't have that.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just I don't know.
I think they even had it in Space Jam.
Yeah, I think so. That sounds right. Sounds right. But yeah, I believe that's coming back to HBO. They're bringing back Looney Tunes.
Interesting.
Foghorn, Leghorn, and
Are you gonna watch it on HBO?
Yeah.
Foghorn Leghorn was the best, though.
Yeah.
He was.
I say.
Now what I say?
What's going on here?
Love Foghorn.
Or he'd be fighting with a dog or something like that, and the dog would be beating on him, and it would be funny.
Yeah. So was it just like? Growing up, and now there's. Do you think there's an oversaturation now of cartoons? Too many options?
Options?
Yeah.
No.
There's a lot of cartoons. The thing is,
I don't think the cartoons are as good as they used to be. I don't know.
But how many cartoons are you watching?
I haven't watched cartoons in a long time.
So how do you know?
The only time I've watched cartoons is when I've YouTube something.
I mean, do you watch like The Simpsons or like Family Guy?
We
or
loved
anything like
The
that?
Simpsons.
Oh yeah, I've watched a lot of Simpsons, but
not the same though.
No, it's not.
No. Well, everyone always says the
Family
first.
Guy. Family Guy is still good.
Yeah,
and
Family Guy's good. People say the first 10 seasons of The Simpsons is the good chunk of The Simpsons, and then the rest is.
But it's tough when The Simpsons have been around for 55 years.
Yeah,
like
they're going on season 32.
It's got to be farther than that.
No, I'm right on that. I know where my Simpsons are at.
32.
I think they're maybe starting 31 or 32. I think is the next one.
That's where you're going with.
I'll lock that in.
Okay.
Put me at the next season is 31. I'm locking it in. That's the Pizza My Life lock-in of the week.
The lock-in
of the week. I think Simpsons going into season 31.
You're so close.
Oh, I thought I nailed it.
32.
I should have stuck with my original thought.
And it's already aired. Actually aired Sunday. Was season 32.
Well, that's what I get for not watching the show for the past 10 years.
It's been tough. I agree.
But yeah, no, we always watched the Simpsons growing up.
Simpsons. I think we even watched maybe a little bit of South Park. I don't know if we watched a ton.
I don't think we watched.
I actually didn't even think about South Park. I mean, but those they're getting
South Park is the same thing.
South Park
it's
was a little,
a little bit raunchier.
Yeah.
But they've been getting more into adult cartoons. So before, Looney Tunes was never adult. They had some adult themes. Like Pepe Le Pew's probably canceled.
Oh, super canceled. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
It's just a guy trying to have sex with a cat.
Was it a cat?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That
because
was
she
like-
wasn't an actual skunk.
Yeah, and she just like rubbed up against white paint or something.
Yeah.
And he was all like, oh, ho, 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 be my wife. Yeah.
Just like
It
it.
was good. It was funny.
I agree.
At the time, yeah. Now it's like, you know.
It's a squirrel. Or not squirrel. It's a skunk. I don't know why I said squirrel. It's a skunk.
How'd you get those mixed up?
Yeah, I just said
Dad, do you think there's one of the things I remember pretty vividly from my childhood is when we got to the point where we were growing up. This was back in like the 90s. Not everyone had internet. I remember the time of my life where I was trying to convince you that we needed internet in the house. And one of the things I told you was, like, we'd be watching TV and a commercial would come on and it would be for Honda or something, and it'd be like, you can learn more at honda.com.
I can't learn more, Dad.
And that's what I would say. I'd be like, Dad, we could be going to honda.com.
And we have the early dial-up
Yeah.
modem,
Yeah.
all those noises.
Yeah, and the like shared computer
Yeah.
that's just like awkwardly like in the living room,
Yep.
between the living room and the dining room.
Yep.
Yeah, and then,
Always.
And then eventually some sort of image would pop up and like, oh, okay, and then
Yeah.
you click on it. No, let's wait.
Ching, Windows 98.
Did Eric ever blame a pop-up porn ad on you? Because I definitely blamed my dad multiple times.
No, hold on. Dad, do you remember when you taught me about internet browser history?
Probably, because it was easy to go, where the hell have you been here? And it's like, what the heck is this? And it was,
Yeah.
you were all
You
over
can
the
always
map.
tell when it's like a kid's search.
Yeah.
It's like boobs, naked boobs.
Yeah. Naked boobs, hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kissing boobs.
Yeah, and then after that, after I learned about internet browser history,
It's always clear.
I'm sure you probably noticed after that, the internet browser history was
Clear,
always
constantly.
empty. Eric was never on the computer.
I
after
just
that.
went on this computer. Why is that website not here?
If you look at at the levels of Dad peaked on his computer knowledge right at this point, and his son was still, just shooting past me on computer knowledge, and Dad peaked, and that was as far as he
Yeah.
knew. And after that,
Man, that was an awkward time when you were like, internet browser history, so it keeps track of every site you go to.
I can
And I'm
see
just
all
there
this.
like, what?
tell me about these
I
sites.
said, did you just do like the deny? Like, Jason?
No, that's like pretty much like it's like he might as well have had like a photo of me being like, oh, it's like this is indisputable evidence here. I'm the only other person that's like using the internet on this computer.
Did you ever blame him though?
No, I mean, what's
Like
there
when
to blame?
when your mom, if Pizza Mom came up and like saw something.
No.
Because I had that before. Like I think it's like one of those where you're still like thinking that you can be sneaky and like even though everyone is in like the living room or whatever, like
Yeah.
boobs and search it up and then like a pop-up ad comes up and like your mom walks by, she's like, whoa, what's that?
Yeah.
I'm like, Dad, I don't know.
I remember like sitting at the computer, because it's like a family computer, and so it's like, you're kind of like everyone else is like in the other room or something, so you have like the computer yourself. I remember like listening so intently of like just waiting for someone to like hear those footsteps across the kitchen or something, and just be like, minimize, close.
Do you remember the
clean it
first
up.
time maybe you clicked on something like that and it's like, okay, I'll just get rid of it, and then something else pops up.
Yeah.
And then, okay, get rid of that.
Yep.
And then something else pops up.
Oh,
It's like,
shit.
That was
Oh,
the
shit.
old school
They just
like.
That's what I'm talking about. It's like you're
Pops
looking at
up,
something
it's
and then something pops up. You're like, that's not me.
Yeah, and
it's
you're just
like,
like close.
close. It was like a Galaga game or something. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
I remember
you
when
had
I
to keep
learned,
up with it.
Do you remember when you learned that whitehouse.com was a porn site?
No, I never knew that.
You never knew that?
Is that
Oh.
still a porn site?
I have no idea. So
Fact checked.
that was the thing back in the day that whitehouse.com was a porn site. Genius move by them.
Yeah,
Because,
because
you could-
whitehouse.gov is the government site.
Exactly. So you could always log into it. I remember like sitting there, like we were working on it was me and a friend, we were working on a report.
Oh my God.
And like we knew that was going to happen. We search it up and then like my mom walks by. I'm like, we did whitehouse.com. Like, where are we
whitehouse.com.
supposed to go for the White House?
Yeah.
It's like, it's .gov. I'm like, sorry.
It's like, this is my bad.
Yeah. Whoops.
But you're like writing it down, like, all right,
It works.
whitehouse.com. We'll come back to that later. All right. Well, Dad, hey.
What a way to end it on.
Anyways, yeah, that's where we're wrap it up at.
Good stopping point.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
as I plan to do. Dad, thank you so much for being a guest on the podcast. Honored to have you on.
The finale.
the finale of season 1. Next week we'll launch into season 2. Lots of fun stuff planned.
We said this was a big episode.
Yeah,
so.
this was a big episode. Next week
I think it lived up to the hype.
We're happy to have you on. The one thing we ask
I'm
all
glad
our
to be
guests is, do you have anything you want to promote or recommend?
Recommend. I'm going to first start off with Jason's Off-Road Garage podcast.
Yes.
Which you guys out there with your expensive Jeeps who want to, rub it up against a tree, get it stuck on a rock, get it buried in mud. You want to know where to go. You want to know what to take with you when you're lost in the woods. This is
that's the podcast.
The podcast for you.
It's Pizza Dad's second favorite podcast.
Yeah.
I also want to do a shout out to Pizza Mom. She's the love of my life and best friend. And that's like,
Shout out to
you
Pizza
wouldn't
Mom.
be here without Pizza Mom.
I mean, that's true.
She's
indisputably
wonderful.
true.
Nobody takes better care of me than Pizza
facts.
Mom.
Pizza
that's
Mom's
true.
the best.
That's true.
We gotta get Pizza Mom on now.
Pizza Mom, we want you on the podcast.
Does Pizza Mom listen?
Sometimes she
Okay.
hears bits and pieces.
Gotcha.
Also,
So-
one piece of advice I want to give to any of those future dads out there. And I'll give this future advice.
Yeah, what's good
It's
fatherly
good
advice?
Fatherly advice.
There we go.
Now, especially once you have children, when mom, you're going to be left at home with the child,
Yeah.
and when mom says, "I'll be back about 3:30 from the store," at about 3:29, you better make sure you change the diaper of that child. Because if mom comes home and that child's got an ass full of shit, you are never going to, you can be sitting there watching TV and say,
It just happened.
Life goes a lot smoother.
Bart Starr just threw 2 touchdown passes.
Don't care.
And what do you mean the kid's full of shit? It's like, yeah, you better change that diaper before mom comes home. Because,
All right.
yeah,
That's good
That's
advice.
good advice.
That's good
it's
advice.
Like, you better make sure that kid, one thing is,
That is
fed and,
Is
is still in the room.
Yeah, make sure everything is okay. All
Somewhere,
the kids are still alive.
it's
There's no
not like-
blood.
Is that our best child advice? It was feed your kid,
Feed your baby.
Feed your
feed your baby,
And
make sure
the baby.
change the
Change the
baby.
baby.
before mom gets home, because
So we are
when
getting
she
there.
gets home, if all of a sudden, it's like, ooh.
yeah.
Once Catherine pops that baby out, we can have some more parent advice.
Yeah, hopefully by the time we become parents, then we'll have so much good advice from everyone else.
We got
that's
2
had.
good starting points.
Yeah, 2 very good starting
Something to
points.
build on.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you did mention Jason does have a podcast, Off-Road Garage podcast, all about off-roading. Jason, if you're listening, I want to be on that podcast.
Why don't you have Jason on your show?
Because
you gotta extend the olive branch first.
me and Jason had like a mutual agreement that we don't listen to each other's podcasts.
That doesn't mean you can't invite him on.
Yeah. Jason, I want you on my podcast. I want to be on your podcast. That's the plan. Get Pizza Dad on your podcast
I know,
too.
That's
What's
true.
going on here?
I've driven through a mud puddle or something before.
Yeah.
Come on.
I've gone down the
Yeah.
dirt road. I
We can talk
#
tires.
get Pizza Dad on.
Yeah. Absolutely.
we'll
Did
work
you know
on that.
your brother's talking about doing a podcast?
Which one?
Seth. Yeah.
He told me that he
That's
asked
money.
you. He told me that he asked you questions about how you're recording and
Yeah.
everything.
We were talking about podcast stuff.
Yeah.
So I hope that comes to fruition.
Actually, he'll probably pass us in listeners. Not gonna lie.
Probably.
Yeah.
Whatever. All good. We're doing it for the fun.
Should we start a band then?
Yeah.
Compete with him?
Hell yeah, we should. I have GarageBand. We'll get that figured out.
That's what he told me. He's like, he said he asked you, how do you record it? And you told him some like expensive software. And then you ended it with, I just use GarageBand though. And he's like, well, then why would I buy that expensive software?
I didn't tell him any expensive software.
He's like, oh,
I told him expensive equipment, but I didn't say.
Maybe he was getting confusing because I told him, I said, you have this, like this level of machine. He's like, I already have that. But he told me to do some expensive software. And then he just goes, I just use GarageBand though.
Yeah, because it's free and reliable. That is the key thing.
Which is why he's like, I don't know why he suggested a super expensive software.
I did not. You can look back in the messages. I did not.
Fact check it.
Fact check it. Pizza Eric. Fact check that.
Just put the screenshot.
Put it in,
Just
put it in
just-
now.
Yeah. Put the screenshot of the text.
Scrolling credits of just corrections and fact checks on this episode. All right. Well, guys, thank you for listening. Pizza Dad.
Woo!
Thank you
On
for having me
the
on.
We are honored to have you. We'll definitely have you back.
Budweiser, New Balance, you know where to find me.
Check out Sneaker Dad Instagram page coming soon.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
Oh my God, that's so funny. All right, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. That is a wrap on season 1 of A Pizza My Life. We'll see you next week.
Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser.
I think somebody's had too many martinis. I think somebody's had too many martinis. I think somebody's had too many martinis. I think somebody's had martinis.
Do you remember when you learned that whitehouse.com was a porn site